Hello everybody, welcome to the Wonky Angle, where I talk about electronic music, both new and old. Except for today, because I felt like doing a video about pop music today. Yeah, I know this isn't the kind of thing I usually talk about. My specialty has always been electronic music. But this was the first year in which I actively paid attention to the pop charts and listened to those big popular songs, actually forming my own opinions on them, instead of just following along with Todd in the Shadow's opinions or something. So I decided, you know what, why the heck not jump on the bandwagon and make my own list. I mean, to be completely honest, this has actually been a pretty dang good year for music. I kinda had to stretch a little to find stuff that I, really and truly disliked this year. And as a result, there won't be any honorable mentions. But yeah, here we go. I'm going to talk about the really terrible songs I heard this year. But first, a few disclaimers. First of all, this should be obvious. This is just my opinion. If you happen to like some of the songs I included on this list, that's perfectly fine. And hey, that means you've accomplished something that I haven't. And if you disagree with some specific ranking I've given, which I will assume that a lot of people will, you can always make your own list. That's what I did. Disclaimer number 2. Ranking is not based off of any objective qualities or that kind of thing. There are a couple of songs here that could objectively be considered good, and that a lot of people even like. But they're just ranked based upon how much, or rather how little, I enjoy them. Reminder that I usually don't care about lyrics, and I usually focus on the beats. Although, if lyrics are distractingly bad, they will, in fact, bother me. But, alright, yeah, that's it. Are we ready? Prepare to see me personally embarrass myself several times as I count down the top 10 worst hit songs of 2015. Number 10. I don't actively listen to the radio much, so I don't usually get affected by overplay. That being said, it still happens occasionally. For instance, I used to think both Uptown Funk and See You Again were both pretty good songs, but now I'm mostly just kind of sick of them, and I'm waiting for them to go out of style so I can enjoy them on my own time without them getting shoved in my face. Or sometimes I could get something like Trap Queen, where I initially hate it, but as time goes on I don't really mind it anymore for some reason. I'm not sure why. But sometimes we get a song that I don't like on first listen, and by the third listen, I never want to hear again, despite the fact that there is not actually that much objectionable about it. This song I just never want to hear again.
Baby, my heart could still fall.
Yes, I know, this song's pretty harmless, and as a result, I have a feeling that I'll probably be one of the only people actually putting this on their list. But this song soured on me in record time, for reasons I can't even begin to fathom. The instrumentation was monumentally boring, as was Ed Sheeran's voice, aside from this one little section that just makes me cringe every time.
Baby now!
Baby now! But above all, this song just feels completely hollow, emotionless, and empty to me. It's not especially annoying, and honestly, at least Ed Sheeran sounds sincere, I guess, but I am just so sick of this song. I get the appeal, and if you liked it, that's great, but please don't make me listen to it anymore. Number 9. Newsflash. Adam Levine is really annoying. Especially when he's screaming swear words in an attempt to sound cool. I really don't have much to say about this. The synth chords are really simplistic and overblown, the beat sounds like all the other beats Maroon 5 have done before, and of course Adam Levine is at his peak annoying level. Especially on the chorus, where it sounds like we're getting multiple Adam Levines. Seems like every time he says fucker, he's just giving his audience the middle finger. Like, yeah, you like that old stuff that was actually listenable, like This Love and Sunday Morning? Well, fuck you! Maroon 5 may not be annoying all the time, but this is just them at their absolute worst. I'm really grasping at other things to say about this song. There's nothing else to say about it that hasn't already been said. This song's painful to listen to it. Listening to it hurts like a motherfucker. And making that blatantly obvious joke also hurt like a motherfucker. Number 8. A chorus of Adam Levine's screaming swear words at the top of their lungs for no reason is pretty annoying. But you know, it could be worse. Warning, I'm about to greatly anger a huge fan base here, so let's all brace yourselves. We all ready?
We are the new Americana.
Alright, before I continue, I would like to say I actually think that Halsey, or whatever, is actually a pretty talented singer, and her voice is probably the least annoying thing about this song. But nothing else about this song works. Allow me to point out the obvious thing that everybody seems to have already pointed out. The distractingly bad lyrics. This line about Biggie and Nirvana just mystifies me. Halsey's fan base appears to be teenage girls that are younger than me, but, you know, Biggie and Nirvana were the cool rebellion music from before I was even born. They would be more likely to have led the parents of Halsey's fan base. Well, maybe Halsey herself grew up in that era. How old is she? 30? 35? 21? She's only 1 year older than me? Seriously? Well, I rest my case. Also, marijuana isn't even legal here in Illinois yet, so that makes it even less relatable for me. And, you know, even if I tune out the lyrics, the beat is pretty bad, too. I don't like quiet and boring, but, you know, at least that can make me fall asleep if that needs to happen. But if you really want to get in my bad graces, you can be loud and boring. And this pseudo-inspirational national anthem kind of thing just really gets on my nerves. Now, I've heard a song a lot mainly because people are spreading it as like a joke, but I can't even enjoy this ironically because that beat just takes itself way too seriously. I suppose it's something to laugh about for a bit, but I just rather forget about this one. Yeah, sorry Halsey fans, but no on this. Number 7. Some of you may be disappointed to hear that Meghan Trainor's dear future husband did not make this list. On top of that, you may be shocked to hear that I may be pretty much the only male person who actually kinda liked this song. I'm sorry, the beat's just really good. It's based off of this old 60s song called Run Around Sue that I used to listen to when I was little, off this little 60s compilation CD that my dad got me. And you know, the beat offers a more modernized version that just puts me in a good mood. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure. If Meghan Trainor were removed from it altogether, it would actually be unironically enjoyable. But instead, yeah, I get exactly why it is so widely hated. I seriously cannot stand the sound of this woman's voice. I've hated all the other songs she's been in. And hey, if I can't pick on Meghan Trainor over a good beat, why not pick on her over a bad beat?
Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on.
This has to be the single lamest song released in recent memory, almost to a comical degree. Meghan Trainor isn't quite as annoying here as she is on All About That Bass or Dear Future Husband. And you know, Charlie Puth is tolerable as well, but my god, that beat is awful. You know how I said that I liked how Dear Future Husband reworked an old 60s song, modernized the beat, and made it sound enjoyable? Well, Marvin Gaye tries that trick as well, but this time using the song Stand By Me by B.B. King, and oh my goodness, it does not work at all.
And when you leave me all alone, I'm like a stray.
Trap percussion and gang vocals? Really? Why? Why would anybody want to make an obvious throwback song and try to make it sound like a recent mediocre rap song? It only makes it sound a gazillion times lamer than it already is. Never mind the fact that Let's Marvin Gaye and Get It On has to be one of the stupidest and corniest lines ever to base a song around, and delivered by two of the whitest singers on the pop charts. Now what ruins it for me is those stupid gang vocals, you know, the hey, hey, hey. I suppose unlike the others on this list, I could enjoy this one ironically, as the lyrics are unintentionally hilarious. And, you know, the whiteness and lameness of this song is just completely off the charts. But all this song ever makes me want to do is just facepalm over and over and over and over. Christ. Let's Sounds from the Ground and move on. By the way, check out Sounds from the Ground. They're an actual good band. Number 6. And here we have another song that I have nothing to talk about. Mainly because there pretty much is nothing to talk about.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Unlike This Summer's Gonna Hurt, which I think pretty much just speaks for itself, this song is just an utter void of substance. Once again, it's loud and boring that tries to be like inspirational, but doesn't do it in any way that hasn't already been done before. Rachel Platten's voice sounds like every other female singer out there. The beat is intense, but lacking anything remotely interesting. It's just a complete nothing of a song. And that's really all there is to say. Song's boring, there's nothing to it, that's it. In conclusion, this is a shite song, devoid of life, so I'll stop. Number 5. Okay, if my putting New Americana on this list didn't already put me in the bad graces of teenage girls everywhere, not that I've exactly been trying to get on their good side in the first place, I'm gonna be putting myself in the bad graces of a lot more people with this pick. I've seen so many people, even other critics and friends of mine, that are actually really into this one. But I'm sorry, no matter how hard I try, I just cannot get into this song. Or even find it particularly listenable at all. Sorry, The Weeknd. Don't get me wrong, I like The Weeknd. I liked both of his other big singles this year, Earned It, and especially Can't Feel My Face. The beats on both of those songs are really good, and while the latter has brought me in for far more repeat listens than the former, I just cannot stand this one. It's just really grating to listen to, especially the chorus. The trap percussion is nothing I haven't heard before, the bass is both loud and hard to hear, and my god, the filtering on The Weeknd's voice is just awful, making him screech like an Avicii drop. I only got you when it's 5:30. They even had a screaming sound effect on top whenever the chorus starts. Every time I hear it, I imagine, like, him breaking a window with his high-pitched voice. The rest of the song isn't nearly as bad, and I guess the spooky atmosphere is kinda cool, but it's not enough to redeem the awful sound of that chorus. I'm sorry, everyone else can continue to rave over this one, but I just find it painful to listen to. Give me Can't Feel My Face any day. Number 4. This year, something so unbelievably unexpected happened. Something so conflicting and weird. Something that the me of last year would slap me for saying. But I can't deny that it happened, and I am still in utter disbelief that it actually did. This year, in 2015, Justin Bieber stopped sucking.
What do you mean?
I honestly couldn't believe that after hearing What Do You Mean, I found myself unironically enjoying it. Pleasant to listen to, some fairly interesting production, just a surprisingly solid song. I couldn't believe it. This is Justin Bieber we're talking about. And while we're on the topic of Justin Bieber and unbelievable things, what in God's name happened to you, Skrillex?
Where are you now that I need you?
I will admit, this is probably in an unusually high spot. Justin Bieber singing is tolerable, and on top of that, we've seen far worse production on this list. But Where Are You Now got so high on this list because I know both of these producers can do better. I won't lie, I actually do have a lot of respect for Skrillex. He's come out with quite a lot of good music over the years. From Kill Everybody, to All I Ask of You, to Roughneck Flex, and even more recently I liked songs of his like Coast is Clear, Stranger, Recess, Try It Out, and others. He's undoubtedly a talented producer, although he keeps using his talent in annoying ways, like on Right on Time and Dirty Vibe. And Diplo admittedly doesn't have nearly as good a track record thanks to his tendency to make really terrible and unsatisfying trap drops. But even he can get in my good graces when he uses world music influences under his Major Lazer name. But all that aside, their collaboration album, Jack You, was a colossal disappointment. Nothing on that album was up to either of their usual standards. And while there were a few decently enjoyable songs, Where Are You Now was not one of them. The build-up was terribly boring, and holy crap, the drop has to be the single least satisfying drop I've ever heard. What is that, a slide whistle or a quarter? I don't know, but it doesn't work. All I can say is, you know you've hit rock bottom when Justin Bieber is the best thing about your song. Yeah, sorry Skrillex, but this was easily the worst drop of this year. Number 3. No wait, I take that back. Where Are You Now didn't have the worst drop of the year.
We go holler, we go home, we gon' do this all night long. We get freaky if you want, bitch, I'm Madonna.
I wasn't sure if this deserved to be on the list, as 57-year-old woman trying to stay relevant with the younger crowd is unintentionally hilarious. But no, this has nothing to do with the lyrics. Well, mostly nothing to do with the lyrics. This made it here mainly because of that drop. Not only unsatisfying, but also extremely annoying. Heck, just everything about this song is extremely annoying. Madonna talking about we go hard or we go home. You're 57. You should not be saying things like that. Nicki Minaj is, well, Nicki Minaj. But worst of all, the production. Oh my god, the production. The build-up is mediocre and typical of, like, those big party songs from 3 or 4 years ago, and the drop sounds like auto-tuned farting. Oh, and to add insult to injury, air horns! At least it was barely even a hit, but Christ, this was painful to hear even once all the way through. Madonna, you've had a good long career, but if this song is any indication, I think it's about time to retire. Number 2.
Number 2.
You will probably also be disappointed to hear that Watch Me by Silento is also not on this list.
Now watch me whip. Now watch me nay.
To be honest, I do not hate that song. Yes, it's kinda ripped off of Crank That Soulja Boy and the Cha-Cha Slide, but honestly, both of those songs were big when I was in 6th grade, and I remember actually finding middle school to be pretty fun. So, you know, Watch Me at least gives me a little bit of a nostalgia bomb, and I don't think Silento is annoying as everybody was making it out to be.
You already know what it is.
Except when he says that. I get it then. But while it is way too obvious why so many hate it, I say, it's harmless, it's tolerable, you could do a lot worse than that. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to a lot worse than that.
I'm finna show you how to hit the quad. Hit the quad.
All the criticisms that people had of Watch Me stand up against Hit the Quan, although this time, they actually hold water with me. This I Love Memphis guy is way more annoying than Silento. The beat is even more irritating, and once again, I Love Memphis is stealing someone else's dance, in this case, Rich Homie Quan's. And I don't even care about Rich Homie Quan. Unlike Silento though, I Love Memphis actually tries to add other lyrics than just yelp at other people to do other people's dances. But then we get stuff like this.
I heard Memphis, but I also love dancing.
Wow, pure lyrical genius. Like all the other big Vine songs this year, it was unbearably lacking in effort or talent. And on top of that, it was unbelievably annoying. But as bad as Watch Me and Nasty Freestyle were, this was by far the worst. And finally, number 1. Now, I'll admit, this song is kind of a weird pick for number 1. I don't think quite as many people hated it as much as I did, and I'll admit it's probably a more well-made song than Hit the Quan is, but this list is about songs that rub me personally the wrong way. And I've been dying to talk about my EDM nemesis for quite a while now. Got full reviews written on all his albums waiting to be recorded. Here we have a guy that should have stayed in the crappy house EDM scene of 2010 and 2011 and never popped his head up again. And yet here he is with a freaking top 10 hit. Ladies and gentlemen, why is David Guetta still a thing?
Banging the drum like dum dee dee day. I know you want it in the worst way. I wanna hear you call.
David Guetta, to me, represents everything wrong with popular EDM. His music is completely boring and soulless, often featuring singers that usually have personality but lose it the second he and his studio hack buddies get their hands on the performance. Admittedly, Hey Mama is not the worst thing Guetta's ever made, and it was probably the only song off the Listen album that I actually had more than one sentence to say about. But make no mistake, this song has the power to instantly put me in a bad mood whenever I hear it. The chorus isn't terrible, although once again, Guetta's production turned Baby Rex, or however you pronounce it, into a non-presence that I think everybody mistook for Nicki Minaj. And it's also the only catchy part of the song, but it's still very unpleasant to listen to. And when this song gets stuck in my head, it just instantly fills me with hatred. And I can't get it out because... And right after the chorus, we get the drop, featuring Nicki Minaj's verses, and I think, one musical note?
Yes, I do the cooking, yes, I do the cleaning. Plus, I keep the nana real sweet.
The beat on the drop plays the same note over and over with a few off-key moments. And the chorus just has these obviously fake horns. It's like some anthem to load ammo to, motivating me to get ready to shoot David Guetta in revenge for all the crappy music he's been spitting at us over the past couple of years. But then there's the lyrics. They're not inspirational or angry or motivational at all. They're about women being slaves to men. And they're coming from Nicki Minaj of all people. The woman who's usually known for being highly independent is now singing about doing the cleaning and the cooking. Oh, and Afrojack's on this song too, but honestly his featuring credit means absolutely nothing. Either way, while I commend David Guetta for somehow surviving into an era that's not particularly friendly to EDM, the fact that this song became such a big hit was absolutely appalling to me. Unfortunately, I predict that David Guetta's career is far from over. Even if he never notches a top 10 hit again, he'll still be around to annoy me for years and years to come. And his continued existence, like this song, fills me with such intense hatred that there could be no other song for my number one spot. Now please stop the song so I can stop listening to it. Thank you. Now, of course, once again, this list is all my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with it, and I'm certain pretty much everybody will. But I'd still like to hear what you guys think in the comments. Feel free to bug me about songs I missed, but, if something wasn't on here, it's probably because either I didn't care about it, or I didn't hear it enough to actually piss me off. But whatever. Next video will be my year-end list for my favorite albums of the year, so hopefully you'll check that out too. I'm much more excited to talk about the music I like rather than this cheap little video I made for fun and for views. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all for today. See you next time.